Okay, I thought I'd do this now because it's an empty classroom. I've just found an empty classroom. And I just want to say hello to you all. And yes, during the half term, I had a bit of an unusual one, and I've been planning to tell you all about it. Most teachers have a bit of a break during the half term. I decided to go to a school. I know, but fortunately, it was a great experience. So here it is, a summary about of what I did, and hopefully, I'll show you some pictures in this video or the next. So I decided to show you some pictures, and here are some more clues. And hopefully, you'll work it out by now. Where I am is a big clue. If you look at the name on the bus or the place on the front of the bus, and this is this place where I went to visit one of the schools. And this is a school from outside, CSK, Christica Schule Camden. That's another big clue. And I love this sign. Yeah, it was just so welcoming. And I am a huge fan of German, so it was great to see both the German and the English. It's a bilingual school. And then you can see some typical German school rucksacks. I love those rucksacks. They look so practical. Some more rucksacks. One of the classrooms, I believe this was a grade 1 classroom. And yes, I'll show you more pictures later on. Hopefully you've guessed it, but if you haven't, here it is. Okay, now here's more information. Okay, difference number one. I should say actually I spent most of the time in the middle school and the primary school this year because I've already seen high school very briefly. I did pop back to because I did want to see some subjects we don't tend to get in the UK. So the main difference I would say, first of all, of course, it was an international school, so it's a very American culture and was based in Germany, which was quite different. And on top of that, the class sizes are quite small compared to maybe in London where the class sizes, although we're having a decrease in numbers in many London schools and some schools are closing down, but generally you'd have a class of about 30 or in the 20s. But some classes where I was had the privilege to visit had about 8 children, so that was a major difference. I thought, wow. And I enjoyed seeing that different the dynamics that you get that you would find with a class that's a lot smaller. Also, another major difference was perhaps it's in the UK. Some people have said that we have schools that are a spin-off of the Victorian era, so things are a little bit more formal. So I smile because in the UK, children will be expected to sit down, will be put their hand up every time. And I remember seeing one child who was having crisps in class. I remember seeing it last time in high school, pistachio nuts. And I was thinking that would not happen in the UK. And the child was so sweet and actually came up to me and said, "Oh, would you like some?" And I was taken aback because I thought, wow. When it was breakfast time and or morning time, I was so it's a different way of thinking. So I thought, okay, and of course it's a school that's small, and also some of the children board. So the dynamics, I have heard some people say the dynamics change when it's your staff are closer to the children in relation than some school where children come and go back to their homes. So that was quite different. I really enjoyed seeing the fact that children had to have a lot more ownership of their resources because they bring in their own pencil cases, they bring in their own folders, a bit similar to what I'd seen or heard of in Germany before. So the children walk around with their folders, especially in the middle school. In the primary school, their books were generally there, and they worked through quite a lot of books. Middle school common room. And then it was Valentine's Day when I was out there, so we had a bit of fun. The staff room was full of Haribos and Milka, which was very exciting, very exciting. And then the middle schoolers had a little canteen, and people could buy things for the other people. It was just really, really very lovely ideas there. And I enjoyed the needlework class and, of course, some sports. And I'm a bit of a sporty spice. So I played some basketball, and it was great to have a big gym. I know lots of secondary schools have these big gyms, primary schools not as much. So it was just great to enjoy a bit of space. And there we go, my time in Camden. Okay, I'm back and I'm in a book corner with this. Okay, this is primary school for you. Another major difference, I would say, apart from the small classes, was the whole fact that school dinners didn't exist. Not that I could see. So most of the children brought their own lunches, or they went out to get their lunch if they're a lot older, that is. So middle schools, in this school was grades 5 to through to 7 or so, 7 or 8. And yeah, so the children bring their own lunches, whereas in the UK, of course, you know, school dinners is a big thing. And most of the time, children will sit down and eat their school dinners at a table. Older children, secondary, sometimes I've seen them at break time, especially walking around, but generally you sit at the table and you eat it. But so that's a huge difference. Another difference was the fact that they tend to have common rooms. So about the background noise, common rooms, and so playtime wasn't a thing. That's you know, in the UK you have this 1 hour lunchtime, which involves you eating and then running around and playing. At break time, you also have 15 to 20 minutes. Some schools even do 30 minutes, where the children all go out to play unless they have reason to be indoors, or if they're in trouble, or so on. So yes, so that is a big thing. So I was a bit surprised, especially in the middle school, not to be seeing that, because even in secondary school, playtime is a thing, and you see the boys, and even in the older secondary, even in sixth form, i.e. Post-16, playing football in their uniforms and so on. The primary school, of course, had a playtime, which is would be expected, and that was good fun. I got to shoot some hoops and so on, so it was good, very good fun. Now, another difference, let's have a think. Assemblies. Yes, assemblies are a thing in the UK, and it is statutory. That means it has to happen. And most schools do it every single day, and there will be different types of assemblies. Some schools, I don't know how they manage to get out of it, but they do. But most schools do it every single day. Now, I saw chapel, which I really like chapel, actually, where the children sit down and they think about a Christian message, which is fantastic. So that was the only gathering I saw during the week. Rest of the time, children came to school. They came quite early, actually, compared to the UK start. And then they finish earlier slightly, but the middle school finishes a bit later than we finish. And then that was it. So there wasn't a collective, what we call in English, a collective act of worship, as it's labelled, although most people have made it quite diluted in that way, in certain ways. So those are the major differences. There could have been others, I could say, but those are the major ones. Something I really enjoyed seeing in the middle school and the high school I saw briefly last year was the fact that they had a lesson called Bible. So the children actually learning the Bible and what it is and what's inside of it, and not just on a superficial level, so that they actually understand and can make an informed decision about what they believe as they grow up. So that was brilliant. And so it goes a bit deeper than RE, because RE will sometimes touch on lots of different things, but the children don't actually get to know what the Bible is and look at different books well. So that's one thing I really liked. I enjoyed a play, got to see a play, and I had a brilliant time every evening also. I had something happening, so it wasn't that restful, but it was very good. And so a big thank you to CSK staff, and also to BFA staff, and parents who made me really feel welcome. Thank you so much. I had a great time. So I think those are the differences I wanted to say. And I would say, if you haven't had a chance to see a school abroad, please think about doing a UK-German connection exchange, because there's something that you'll pick up from any classroom, whether it's in the UK or abroad. And I just thought it was very enriching, and I would love other people to experience it as well. I forgot just one more thing, actually. In the UK, there's been a big move away, especially in primary, from textbooks. And I don't think it's always a good thing completely. And because supposedly it'd be more creative. Yes, there is a place for that. I 100% agree. I love the creativity. I'm being honest here. I'm a bit hyper. And I also like textbooks because I think there are skills that you learn from using a textbook, and some of those skills are being lost. And I think you can do both. It's not one or the other, because what happens nowadays is that then teachers keep printing things from Twinkle, and when actually that we could save paper and just use a textbook, and then adds in the time that's spent looking for resources, you can then actually use that to be creative. So it's a bit of a yes, I think that's something I find a little bit concerning in the UK trend. However, what I did see, especially in CSK, there was a lot of use of textbooks. And at first, because of the UK trend, I was a bit surprised by that. But then at the same time, I also saw lots of creativity, and in the second and in the middle school, a lot of creativity. So you can do both. So, for example, some children were doing a project, and they were given the freedom in geography to do the project however they wanted. Some made a model, amazing models. Some made slides. Some of them made posters, and they were able to then present it, and all the confidence that builds and the creativity that's unleashed. And I think you can do both. So that was something I really enjoyed seeing. And I think I'm going to stop there. I am going to write an article. So if you want to know a few more differences, you've got to read it. Thank you for listening, and take care. Bye. Sign up, subscribe. That's the same as sign up, isn't it? Like, and see you next time. Bye now. Bye from this guy.